Hi, Roane County. How are y'all doing today? Oh, we gotta have a little bit more energy in that. I gotta tell you, Gloria Johnson is one of my heroes. Don't y'all love her? I first met her many, many years ago when I was involved with Moms Demand Action, and we were taking our red shirts up to the hill to try to make a difference. And sweet Gloria, with her tiny little office that those petty people gave her, said, "Come on in, ladies, you can put your purses in here." And we all put them down. And I knew that she was like one of us then. So I'm just, thrilled to be following her and thrilled to be with you today. I know a lot of you don't know me, so let me tell you who I am. My name is Jerri Green, and I'm running to be your next governor of the great state of Tennessee. I was born and raised in Memphis. I went to college in Knoxville. I went away to D.C. to Georgetown for law school, and then I came back to give back in Nashville. That's where I started my career as a juvenile public defender. I've been a public servant in one fashion or another throughout my career. I could have easily left and gone into corporate law and made a lot of money, but here's the thing. I grew up really poor. In fact, my mom and I used to joke that we was just po. We couldn't afford the last two letters. You know what I mean? Like we were a tuna helper family, not a hamburger helper family. So I knew that I'd been given this incredible opportunity to go to Georgetown and to get this law degree, and I wanted to give back, and I wanted to fight for the most voiceless among us. And in Nashville, I did just that. I represented lots of juveniles, obviously, mostly minorities, all below the poverty line, and they were kids who needed something. Let me tell you about the case that sticks with me the most. Very early on in my career, I had a young black man who was about 13 years old, and his little brother had gotten sick, and his mom stayed home with him so much that she lost some pay and the lights went out, and it was winter. So she had to go back to work. So she pulled the 13-year-old out of school and said, "You've got to watch your brother in the dark while I go to work and make some money in the cold." And he took an extension cord, they lived in the projects, and ran it into the apartment next door and plugged it in. He plugged it back into a heater and a TV and sat his little sick brother in front of it. He was charged with felony theft and felony burglary. And I thought, how many ways have we failed this mom, this child, his little brother, and how on earth am I supposed to fix it in this courtroom? Giving him a felony charge, right? It was then that I knew, while it was great to fight case by case, day after day, and I did that for many years in Nashville and in Memphis, that I wanted to be able to make bigger change. And I started doing that in Memphis when we moved back to start our family, my husband and I became a public defender, and then I started running a legal nonprofit so I could help even more people get access to justice that wouldn't be able to afford it. And after that, I went on to work in my county mayor's office, Mayor Lee Harris, as his senior policy advisor. I am now his deputy chief of staff. I know it's going to sound crazy to some of you folks. That's my day job. My part-time job, that's in quotes, is I am a city councilwoman for Memphis. I took a seat that had never been held by a Democrat in the 200-year history of Memphis and Clinton. And it makes a difference. Not only did we get our first female majority in the history of Memphis as well when I won that seat, but I was able to do things to fight for families. And on Labor Day, I will tell you that I worked to get minimum wages for our bus monitors. I made sure everyone in Shelby County got $40,000 minimum. And I voted against multiple budgets of the mayor, Paul Young, in Memphis, because he told the unions he'd give them a 5% raise and then brought a budget with something lower. And I said, no, sir, we stand with our unions and we do what's right by them. So it makes a difference when you have a Democrat in those seats. But above all of those jobs, being a recovering attorney or being a public servant, that's what I tell people. Nobody likes a lawyer until they need one. The job that's most, somebody sounds like somebody back there needs an attorney. The job that I have that's most important, my title that is most important, is mother. You can clap for that. Where are my moms in the house? All right. So when people ask me, how can I run for office, being as overemployed as I am, and having 3 kids at home, I answer them very simply. How can I not? I do have special interests. Don't get this wrong. My special interest names are Bo, Vivian, and Wilder. They are 15, 13, and 8 years old. Bo, if you have had or currently have a teenage son, you know they eat a lot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And we've been talking a lot about the rise in prices of groceries. Let me tell you, you've got a teenage son at home, you really feel it. Vivi, my daughter, is an athlete and maybe a little clumsy. She ends up in the minor med a lot, and so healthcare is important. Having access to it, having it be affordable, having to not set up a GoFundMe because she needs a cast. And I want her to have healthcare and health choices over her own body for the rest of her life. My youngest child, Wilder, he's 8 years old, and he is autistic. He needs a lot of extra help in schools. And so, as Gloria pointed out, while we are defunding public schools and funding voucher schemes, I worry about him having the supports he needs in his classroom and the teachers having the supports they need in the classroom. So when people say, how can you do this? I'm telling you, every day I look at why I have to. This isn't courageous. This is necessary for me. Now look, I know that all of you are here, and I'm not trying to be Pollyanna with you. There's a reality check. We're running against Marsha Blackburn. I mean, allegedly, yes, boo. Allegedly, we could be running against John Rose or somebody else, but let's be clear, we're running against Marsha Blackburn. And I can talk to you through our strategy of turning out our voters in our blue dots. We've got to do it. I can talk to you about taking those areas on the margins, not from ruby red to bright blue, but from pink to purple. Like I did in my district. I won my district by 56 votes. You know what that means? Every vote counts. And I can tell you that being at places like I'm here today and reaching out to rural voters to let them know they have someone who can fight for them, that will stand up for them, that believes what they believe, I want you to know that's part of our plan too. But the first step in this plan is I need you to believe. I need all of you here to take a leap of faith with me. And while I'm talking about faith, let me be clear. The Republican Party does not have a monopoly on faith.
Woo, not even close.
No, they're not even close. Because I can tell you, in my church, at Second Baptist on Walnut Grove, what they taught me was to love my neighbor. Do you know what that means? I don't cut SNAP and Medicaid to give my billionaire buddies a tax cut. My church taught me that we welcome the stranger. We don't disappear them in unmarked cars with masked guards. And it also taught me this really important story that I'm carrying with me as I start traveling around the state of Tennessee. And that's a story about a little guy named David who was outmatched. There was a giant that had special armor and special weapons, and there was no way that this little kid with a slingshot was going to defeat him. I'm telling you right now, he won and will win because you're my slingshot. You're going to help us get across the finish line. Yeah, it's kind of a low clap. I need to make sure that you're my crow. Y'all do me a favor. Everybody who's ever been worried about their child losing a swimming medal to a transgender athlete? Raise your hand. If you're worried about the rising cost of groceries, could you raise your hand? If you're worried about having access to health care, could you raise your hand? If you're worried that we might not let women vote, could you raise your hand? Right, you're my crowd. So here's what I'm saying. We've got to have somebody in the governor's mansion that actually cares about the things that matter to working families, that matters to mothers every day at their kitchen tables. So I need you to do something. I don't need you to do everything. You can't do everything. I can't do everything. But everybody can do something. If I told you that I needed you to knock 25 doors and you would have a difference in the outcome of this election, would you do it? If I asked you to text bank for me for 4 hours and you would change the outcome of this election, would you do it? If I asked you to write me 50 postcards, your hand's gonna be tired. Would you do it? If I ask you to give me $5 to my campaign and skip your fancy coffee and do it every month, would you do it? That's what I'm asking you today. I want you to look around. We've got well over 100 people here today. What if everybody today gave our campaign $20? What that's going to mean is we're able to do voter outreach through mail, through social media, through knocking on doors, build out our infrastructure, build out our team. And I'm just saying, that would be $20 one time. You could make a difference. You don't have to do something huge and big. If you want to, that's okay. Rachel, what's the maximum gift? No, ma'am. For a governor's race, it's $5,400, but that's all right. God, I'm gonna get her. Yeah, it's fine. Look, you want to do that? Well, look, if you want to give $1,800, I'm also down. But I need you to do something. Do something today. Go to green4governor.com. How many of you got your phones right now? Raise your hand. That means every one of you can get on green4governor.com. You can go learn more about me and what I've done in my time in Memphis. You can go to my platform page and see what we plan to do for Tennesseans around this state from every corner. And you can then share that with others. I am on Facebook, Instagram, X, and I'm now on TikTok. Who's on TikTok? Oh, God bless you all. I didn't want to be on TikTok. The youngins, they got me, and my daughter's now my social media manager on TikTok, and it's a whole thing. People are asking me to dance. I don't know if it's going to happen. Point is, we're fishing where the fish are. So if you're on any of those things, go find us. Go share it. Tomorrow we're going to be in Blount County, up in Maryville. I said that right? Maryville. Yeah, see? That was a really strange call and response. We're going to be up there, and that's going to be our last stop on this tour. And then coming Wednesday, we will be posting our next 8 dates of where we're going to be across the state. And we are going to big cities, and we are going to suburbs, and we're going to teeny tiny towns. And we're hitting every corner of the state. And I'm telling you, our message is resonating. Everywhere we've been on this trip, the crowd's gotten bigger, and you guys are our biggest crowd yet. And we're not only gaining our followers on our social media, I want you to know that as of right now, we already have donations from over 65 different towns and cities and tiny dots in the state of Tennessee. That means 65 different places from every little corner and holler and all these places. People are getting our message and they're saying, I'm stepping up to do something. So, Roane County, are you ready? Yeah. Are you ready, Roane County? All right, I'm going to be over here. I'm going to do something that my opponent would never do. I'm going to stand over here and answer your questions. So if you have questions after this, please meet me over here. Alex is here. She's got a sign-up sheet, so if you want to stay informed about our events, about how you can volunteer, come over to Alex. And for any donation, whether it's $1 or $100 today, we've got stickers for you. So please stop by over there, and I hope that you are with me as I become your governor in the great state of Tennessee.